Today's guest is going to take us to Pity City. He is a former tag team champion, and he's part of nearly every promotion there is. But this Sunday, he will be taking part in the Legends of Wrestling event down at Citi Field. Please welcome Mr. Brian Knobbs.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Doing great. Thanks for joining us. How have you been, man? How's it going?
I'm doing fantastic. I really am. I'm just out there. Can you say living the dream? I'm living a dream as, you know, an old, semi-retired pro wrestler, but every now and again it calls for a big show like this to bring me and Sag back out in the ring again and show some punks like Mr. Anderson and, Mike Knox. And, you know, if Gallo and Briscoe want to join in, so be it, man. We don't care. It'd be like a barroom fight in Allentown, PA. Are you kidding me? We're Northeastern boys. You know who rules. It's not anybody from Minnesota. That's for damn sure.
Well, we hate to break it to you, but we spoke with Mr. Anderson recently, and he had some pretty disparaging remarks about you. What do you have to say about that?
You know what? All I can say is talk is cheap, and I'm guaranteeing you, everybody out there, it is Citi Field. It is a New York City street fight. I grew up in the streets of Philly, and there ain't no tougher towns than Philadelphia. And I can guarantee you right now, New York has a beat a little bit hands down when it comes to street fighting in the wrestling ring. I also was in a couple of Chicago street fights too, you know, against Cactus Jack and Max Payne. So, you know, we've been around the big cities. And New York, when you move to New York City, it gets crazy, brother. And all I can say is, Mr. Anderson, you made a bit off more than you could chew. And Mike Knox, please. What are you, a walk behind her? Are you like Arn Anderson? Give me a break. I'm just wishing Gallo and Briscoe jump in the ring. Come on, bring it all. Let's, hey, bro, I'll smash someone over the center field fence. I'm telling you. Like back in the day, like my buddy Tommy Agee used to do.
Now we understand you're a huge Tampa Bay fan. How do you feel about wrestling on Mets territory?
I was always kind of a Mets fan from the start, back in 69, 70 when I was growing up. I wasn't a Phillies fan. I grew up in Allentown, PA, Whitehall, PA. But when I came down there, I've been down there for 22 years. When a new regime took hold, Stu Sternberg and they were a group of guys. They called me aside and asked if I would like to be the 10th man, like Seattle has the 12th man. And I said, sure, I would love to. And, you know, they made videos of me. And, you know, I was at almost every game, home game, which is a lot of games, it's 80 games. They're trying to switch it around because when the Yankees and Red Sox played us, it was mainly Yankees and Red Sox fans. And we had no really fan base. And you know what? It took me 2 years, but I changed it around. And plus, my good buddy Coach Madden, who ain't there no more, who plays for the Cubs, you know, he's the coach there now. He told me, hey man, stick with it. He's from Hazelton, PA, which is not but I would say 50 miles from Allentown. And we became really good friends. And you know what? We did turn it around, and we went to the World Series in 2008, and who did we play? But none other than the Philadelphia Phillies. And they were calling me effing traitors, and, you're not just from Allentown, PA. What are you going for the Tampa Bay Rays for? But I've been down there since 88, and, that's how all this stuff started with the Legends of Wrestling.
All right.
Now, we've been talking today about major outdoor events, and you've been part of some of the biggest outdoor wrestling events ever. What are your thoughts about wrestling outside versus wrestling indoors? And what's your favorite outdoor venue that you've wrestled in?
Famous outdoor venue would be Wembley Stadium, SummerSlam 92. We had 87,000 people there, and we were the first match. It was me, Sag, and the Mountie against They just got elected to the Hall of Fame this year. The Bushwhackers and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Hey-o! And you know what? There's nothing like being first match because nobody has done anything yet. So you're not copying anybody's moves. You're not doing anything anybody else did because you're the first match. And we tore it up, man. It was a great feeling. And it's just a great feeling being in front of 88,000 fans, you know, and we did more than Michael Jackson did. Wow. We hold the record there at Wembley Stadium.
Wow. Now, you had a major part in bringing this Legends of Wrestling event to the Northeast. Do you guys have any plans to come back in the near future? Maybe do any other stadiums or any other venues up here?
Well, right now, July 31st, we're doing the Florida Marlins. We're down there doing Legends of Wrestling there, but it's a more meet and greet and signing autographs. But in 2013, we did a wrestling event afterwards, and we did the whole. I mean, we were signing autographs. Goldberg threw up the first pitch and speared the catcher from the Colorado Rockies. I mean, it got national exposure. I mean, it's all good. I mean, it's all actually family, friend, family, whatever you want to say. It's all good, entertainment for the family and the friends. And that's what we want to do because our era still sticks out, if you know what I mean. When I'm at an autograph session at a Comic-Con, people come up and really shake my hand and say, thank you for the years of enjoyment. I said, I wish I could take that back on my body. That was my Terry Funk impression. But anyway, it was a no-brainer. It was like, what can I do, to get everybody together and be like, not the main event, but like the sideshow with baseball and wrestling. And the Rays asked me if I could do a wrestling night, and it went over really well. And we did it twice. And then it caught on, and we did a couple more teams. And now we just kind of built this following behind us to have a bunch of, legends at different Major League Baseball parks. But this is different. The one with the Mets, they're different because it's the New York Mets. And I'm telling you, that new stadium is beautiful, Citi Field. And I can tell you one thing, they wanted to have, when the baseball wasn't in town, they wanted to have it on a non-baseball day and just have like a fan fest for, New York City, for, the fans. Because without the fans, the Nasty Boys wouldn't be here right now.
Well, it's widely known that you and Jerry Sags are one of, if not the most popular tag teams of all time. Where do you rank yourself amongst all the other tag teams in wrestling history?
I think between 1 and 10, we're number one. No, I'm only kidding. Between 1 and 10, we're down the line, dude. I mean, I can't take nothing away from the guys that came before us. I mean, even talking old school, like Mr. Fuji and Professor Tanaka, Tony Garea and Larry Zbyszko. I mean, then you get up to our age, and then you got, guys we actually wrestled, like the British Bulldogs, the Hart Foundation, the Road Warriors, the tough SOBs, the Steiners, okay, the Harlem Heat, Public Enemy, I mean, the Power and Glory, the Bushwhackers. And I really admire that they got, inducted into the Hall of Fame this year because they deserve it. But when we were around back in that day, there were so many tag teams, and you guys know it too, from Demolition, there were so many different tag teams, just like there were so many different managers. The greatest manager in the Nasty Boys' career wasn't Missy Hyatt, I guarantee you that. It was Jimmy Mouth of the South Heart, who kind of guided us in the right way and, told us this is the path you got to take if you want to make it to superstardom and, be a real great tag team. But we were taught in the old school, and that really helped out too. But the match that proves it all and stands for our legacy on the wall is WrestleMania 7 against the Hart Foundation when we won the WWF tag team championships of the world. I mean, that by far, stamps our legacy. The fans are so well perceived to us and give us such compliments and make us feel so good that we must have did something right.
Yeah, definitely. If we could talk fantasy warfare for a second, if the Nasty Boys could go up against any tag team, past or present, is there anybody in your mind that you could see you guys, going one-on-one with?
Right now, no. I mean, you know what I'd like to go against? I'd go against Rikishi's sons, the Samoans. Because we went against their dad, right? We went against their dad and Sammy when they were called the Head Shrinkers.
Oh yeah.
Fatu and Samu, remember before he was Rikishi. So that would be pretty cool going against Rikishi's sons, who I knew Rikishi and the family so long now.
The Bushwhackers just went into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. When do you think that the Nasty Boys will get to take their rightful place in the Hall of Fame as well?
You know what? That's up to the fans. When they guest bug WWE enough and tell them that we're deserving enough to go in, that would be my biggest honor and Sag's biggest honor. That that will be a stamp that we finally made it when we finally get to the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, that's an honor. It really is. To get in there, it's an honor. And I'm just telling you, if we would get accepted to go, that would be the biggest thrill of my life.
Mm-hmm. Now, besides wrestling and this Sunday at Citi Field, are there any other projects that you're working on these days you can let the fans know about?
I got some reality shows I'm working on, and right now I'm really building this Legends of Wrestling because it's not only for Major League Baseball. Like I said, we're doing the Florida Marlins July 31st, but the big show here is June 7th because it's a wrestling event alone at a big stadium. And, I don't expect to fill it, no. But I expect the fans that really enjoyed our era or the guys I'm bringing in, and it's a WrestleFest. It's a have fun, old school, let's go have some fun with new school, injected into that. So, you know what I mean?
Sure.
It's got to be fun. I mean, seriously. Mm-hmm. I mean, hats off Jim Duggan going up against Robbie E from, TNA. And he better get ready because he might end up with that looking like a popsicle or that board sticking out of his butt.
Now, Knobs,
and then after that, Hacksaw will have him hanging up there going, hey-o!
Well, Knobs, we really appreciate you talking to us tonight. Guys, everybody listening out there, June 7th from 3 to 7 p.m., Citi Field, the Legends of Wrestling. Head on down to Nastyville this weekend in Queens and check out the Nasty Boys.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. And see you on Sunday.